This man loves you so much. But his situation is. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because you didn't land here by accident. You were guided here at a moment when your spirit is quietly asking questions your heart has been carrying alone. There is a man who loves you deeply, genuinely, in a way that reaches beyond words, and you've felt it, you've seen it in his eyes, in the way he softens around you, in the way your name lingers in his silence. Listen to this, his love is real, it's not imagined. It's not something you made up to feel better, it's something he feels even when he tries to bury it under responsibilities, fears, or unfinished chapters. But don't scroll, because here's where heaven steps in. His situation is not aligned yet with the love he feels, and that gap is not your fault. This message is for you because your heart has been trying to reconcile two truths at once. That he loves you deeply and that something keeps holding him back. Listen to this, that tension you feel, that emotional pause, that sense of almost but not yet, it's not confusion, it's discernment awakening inside you, and that's a sign of spiritual growth. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is not about judging him or excusing him. It's about understanding what heaven is doing behind the scenes to protect you. His situation isn't just about money, timing, or logistics. It's about emotional readiness, stability, and the ability to show up consistently without collapsing under pressure. And right now, he is carrying weight he hasn't fully resolved. Listen to this, he wants you, but wanting and being ready are not the same thing. And heaven never confuses the two. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You didn't imagine the connection, you didn't misread the bond. Soulmate energy is real, and when two souls recognize each other, the pull is undeniable. But soulmate connections are not meant to bypass growth, they are meant to trigger it. And this connection has triggered deep reflection, healing, and awakening in you. Listen to this, you've been seeing signs lately, haven't you? Repeating numbers showing up at strange moments. 11:11 when you think about him late at night. 2:22 when you question whether things will ever balance out. 5:55 when you feel change approaching but can't see how it will arrive. These are not coincidences. This is the universe speaking to you, reminding you that timing is active even when movement feels slow. Don't scroll, because this message is not here to tell you to walk away or to wait blindly. It's here to tell you to stay grounded in truth. His love does not automatically mean access to your future. Love without stability can drain instead of build, and heaven is very careful about what it allows to attach to your destiny. Listen to this. You are awakening spiritually, and awakening changes how you experience love. You are no longer satisfied with intensity alone, you crave peace, consistency, and safety, and that's why your body reacts differently now, why your intuition speaks louder, why something in you pauses even when your heart wants to lean in. Don't scroll, because that pause is protection, not fear. You are not cold, you are not closed. You are becoming wise. Listen to this. His situation includes unresolved responsibilities, emotional wounds, or inner conflicts that he hasn't fully faced yet, and until he does, love will feel heavy instead of expansive, and heaven will not place you in a position where you have to carry someone else's unfinished journey on your back. Don't scroll, stay here, because this message is meant to soothe you, not scare you. You are not meant to fix him, rush him, or sacrifice your peace to prove love. True love does not require self-abandonment, and heaven will never ask that of you. Listen to this. You may notice that when you think about a future with him, your heart warms but your stomach tightens. That's your intuition separating emotion from alignment, and that's a gift. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. The universe is not punishing him or you. It is recalibrating timing so that if this connection moves forward, it does so from strength, not strain. Listen to this. There is a reason. Things haven't fully progressed, a reason conversations circle without resolution, a reason actions lag behind feelings, and that reason is that growth cannot be rushed. Don't scroll, stay with me, because something is forming in the background. Either he will rise into readiness through accountability and healing, or the universe will gently shift your path towards someone whose situation can meet your soul without hesitation. And either outcome is protection. Listen to this, you are not losing. Love, you are being guided toward alignment, and alignment feels calm, not anxious, steady, not uncertain. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. You are allowed to be loved deeply and still choose what's safe for you. You are allowed to honor the connection without sacrificing your future. Listen to this. Heaven sees the full picture, the parts you can't see yet. And it is slowing things down so truth can surface gently instead of crashing later. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is only the beginning of the revelation. Something will soon become clearer, a realization, a conversation, a shift that explains why the pause was necessary, and when it happens, you will feel relief before you feel anything else, because truth brings peace. Listen to this. Trust the signs, trust your intuition, trust that what is meant for you will never require you to ignore your inner wisdom to keep it, and remember this. Love that is aligned with heaven's timing will meet you in peace, not pressure, and when that alignment arrives, your whole soul will know it's safe. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what's unfolding next is the part most people don't talk about, the part that explains why love can feel so strong and yet feel so heavy at the same time. There is a deeper layer to his situation that heaven is slowly revealing to you, not all at once, not to overwhelm you, but piece by piece so your heart can stay protected. Listen closely. This man loves you in the way he knows how right now. But love does not exist in a vacuum. It lives inside circumstances, responsibilities, emotional capacity, and inner stability, and his situation is testing all of those at once. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is not about labeling him as wrong or broken. It's about understanding why the universe has not allowed things to move faster. You may have noticed moments where he opens up emotionally and then pulls back, moments where he talks about a future but struggles to take grounded steps toward it, moments where his words feel sincere but his life feels chaotic. Listen to this. That push and pull is not manipulation, it's conflict inside him, a conflict between what his heart wants and what his current reality can sustain. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this clarity right now. You are not crazy for feeling both connected and cautious. You are responding to mixed energetic signals, love reaching toward you, and instability asking you to wait. Listen to this. Heaven does not ignore those signals, it amplifies them through your intuition, through restlessness in your body, through moments where you suddenly question whether love should feel this uncertain, and that questioning is not doubt, it's awakening. Don't scroll, because you are in a season where your soul is learning to prioritize peace over potential, safety over fantasy, alignment over intensity, and that lesson is sacred. Listen to this. His situation may involve unresolved obligations, emotional baggage from the past, financial pressure, family dynamics, or inner wounds that he has not fully confronted, and while he may genuinely want you by his side, wanting support and being able to provide partnership are two very different things. Don't scroll, because heaven will never place you in a role where you must shrink, wait indefinitely, or carry emotional weight that isn't yours to heal. Listen to this. You've likely been seeing signs that your growth is accelerating, moments where you suddenly feel stronger, clearer, less willing to settle, angel numbers appearing when you're deep in thought, 111 when you consider new beginnings, 222 when you wonder about balance, 444 when you silently ask if you're being protected. These are confirmations that you are being guided. Don't scroll, because the universe is not asking you to abandon love, it's asking you to anchor it in truth. Love without stability becomes a test, love with alignment becomes a blessing, and heaven knows the difference. Listen to this. Your heart may feel torn because you see his potential. You see who he could be if circumstances were different, if healing was complete, if pressure was lifted. But heaven does not build futures on could be, it builds on what is ready. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. Potential is not a promise, and love should not require you to gamble your future on someone else's growth. Listen to this. You are not meant to rescue him from his situation. You are meant to walk beside someone who can stand with you without collapsing. And until his inner and outer world stabilize, heaven is placing a gentle boundary around your heart. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this boundary is not rejection, it's redirection toward clarity. You may notice that when you imagine fully committing, something in you tightens, and when you imagine stepping back, something in you relaxes. That contrast is your intuition communicating safety signals. Listen to this. Intuition is not emotional. It's protective, and you are learning to trust it now. Don't scroll, because the universe is also working on him, creating moments of reckoning. Pressure that forces self-reflection, situations that demand growth, and whether he rises to meet those moments will determine the path forward. But here is the part your heart needs to hear. His outcome is not your responsibility. Listen to this. You are allowed to love him and still choose yourself. You are allowed to acknowledge the connection and still honor your boundaries. Heaven does not ask you to suffer for love. It asks you to grow through it. Don't scroll, because your soul is being trained to recognize the difference between empathy and self-sacrifice, between patience and self-neglect, between waiting with faith and waiting in fear. Listen to this. If this connection is meant to continue, it will only do so when his situation no longer puts you in a position of uncertainty, strain, or emotional imbalance, and if that alignment cannot be reached, the universe will gently loosen the attachment without destroying your heart. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Nothing that is truly meant for you will require you to abandon your peace to keep it. Listen to this. The signs around you are preparing you for a turning point, a conversation, a realization, or a shift in energy that clarifies everything. And when that moment arrives, you will not feel devastated, you will feel steady, because clarity grounds the soul. Don't scroll, stay here. Because you are being divinely protected from stepping into a role that was never meant to be yours. You are not meant to be the one who waits while someone else figures out their life at the expense of yours. Listen to this. Heaven sees your heart, your patience, your compassion, and it is ensuring that those qualities are met with stability, not struggle. Don't scroll, because this message is anchoring you into truth. Love that is aligned will move with clarity, consistency, and courage. Love that is not ready will feel heavy, confusing, and delayed, and you are no longer meant to live in confusion. Listen to this. You are stepping into a season where your worth is non-negotiable, where your peace is prioritized, where your future is protected, and whether this man rises to meet that standard or not, you will not be left behind. Don't scroll, because the universe is not done yet. This unfolding has another layer, and soon you will understand exactly why things had to slow down. Why your intuition spoke up, and why your heart was guided here to hear this now. Trust the timing, trust the signs, trust yourself, because what is meant to stay will not require you to suffer to prove your love, and what is meant to leave will do so in a way that frees you, not breaks you. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because this is the layer where everything you've been feeling finally starts to make sense, the heaviness, the pauses, the moments where love feels close but resolution feels distant. This is not random, this is divine order at work, and you were guided here because your spirit is strong enough now to receive this truth without breaking. Listen closely. This man loves you deeply, but love alone does not untangle a complicated life, and that is the part your heart has been wrestling with in silence. You feel his affection, his longing, his emotional pull toward you, but you also feel the weight he carries, the instability, the unfinished business, the inner pressure that keeps him from fully stepping forward. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is not about blame, it's about clarity. His situation has shaped him into someone who loves intensely but hesitates in action, someone who wants connection but feels trapped by circumstances, and that conflict lives inside him every day. Listen to this. When he looks at you, he sees peace, possibility, and a future that feels safe, but when he looks at his life, he sees uncertainty, responsibility, and unresolved pressure, and that split creates distance even when love is present. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to understand this clearly. You are not imagining the inconsistency, you are not asking for too much, you are sensing the truth of a man who has not yet aligned his inner world with the future he talks about. Listen to this. Heaven allows you to see both sides because you are no longer meant to love blindly, you are meant to love wisely. You have entered a season where your intuition is sharper than your attachment, where your body reacts before your mind tries to explain things away, and that is a sign of spiritual maturity, not emotional coldness. Don't scroll, because the universe has been speaking to you through subtle signals, moments where you feel drawn to step back instead of lean in, moments where silence brings more peace than conversation, moments where imagining your own future apart from him brings a strange sense of relief. Listen to this. Relief is not betrayal. Relief is your nervous system recognizing safety, and heaven cares deeply about your safety, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Don't scroll, because this message is not telling you to abandon love, it's telling you to stop abandoning yourself in the name of love. You have a history of carrying more than your share, of being patient past the point of peace, of believing that love meant endurance, and heaven has been gently correcting that belief. Listen to this. True partnership does not ask one person to wait while the other stabilizes indefinitely. It does not require one heart to shrink so the other can breathe. And heaven will not allow you to step into a future where imbalance becomes your normal. Don't scroll, stay with me, because something important is happening beneath the surface. The universe is creating a crossroads, not just for him, but for you, a moment where patterns can either repeat or finally end, and you are being given the awareness to choose differently. Listen to this. If he is meant to rise, his situation will force him to confront what he has avoided, to take responsibility for his life, to create stability instead of hoping love will soften the chaos. And if he does not rise, heaven will not let you stay stuck waiting for a version of him that only exists in potential. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not losing love, you are gaining truth, and truth always feels heavier at first because it removes illusion, but it becomes lighter once it settles. Listen to this. You may soon notice a shift, a conversation that feels more honest than before. A moment where his limitations become clearer, or an internal realization. Where your attachment loosens without force, and when that happens, do not panic, that is alignment happening. Don't scroll, because the universe does not tear away what you still need, it only releases what would drain you long term. You are being guided toward a love that does not require constant patience, constant understanding, constant sacrifice, but one that meets you in stability, presence, and shared responsibility. Listen to this, the signs around you have been preparing you for this. Realization, the repeated moments of déjà vu, the angel numbers appearing when you question whether to stay or step back, the sudden calm you feel when you imagine choosing yourself, these are confirmations, not coincidences. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. Compassion does not mean self-neglect, empathy does not mean self-erasure, and loving someone does not obligate you to accept uncertainty as your future. Listen to this, heaven honors your capacity to love deeply, but it also honors your right to be protected, and right now protection looks like awareness, boundaries, and timing that does not bend to emotion alone. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is the part where many people ignore their intuition and repeat cycles, but you are not here to repeat, you are here to complete, to close a chapter that taught you discernment, and to step into a season where love feels steady instead of strained. Listen to this, you are not being asked to decide everything today, you are being asked to listen, to observe, to trust what your body and spirit are telling you, because they are aligned with divine wisdom. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Whatever unfolds next will not break you, it will ground you, it will clarify, it will free you from confusion, whether that means he rises into alignment or your path gently shifts away. You will not be left in limbo. Listen to this, heaven does not leave awakened heart stranded, it guides them forward with precision, and you are being guided now, step by step, breath by breath, toward a future that does not ask you to carry someone else's instability as proof of love. Trust the process, trust your intuition, trust that what is meant for you will meet you with peace, not pressure, and know this, the love that is truly aligned with your destiny will not keep you waiting in uncertainty. It will arrive ready, grounded, and able to stand beside you without hesitation. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because this is the point where the universe stops whispering and starts speaking clearly, not loudly, not harshly, but firmly, like a steady hand on your back reminding you to stand upright in your own truth. You've been carrying questions in silence, wondering how love can feel so real and yet feel so delayed. How someone can love you deeply and still feel unable to fully step forward, and heaven has been watching you carry that weight with grace. Listen closely, because this is not about testing your patience anymore, it's about protecting your future. This man's love is sincere, but sincerity alone does not untangle a complicated situation, and that is the truth your spirit has already sensed even when your heart tried to override it. Don't scroll, stay here, because this is where clarity replaces confusion. His situation is not just a temporary obstacle, it's a reflection of where he is internally, emotionally, spiritually, and you cannot separate a person from the life they are currently capable of sustaining. Listen to this, you've noticed how he opens up and then retreats, how he talks about plans but struggles to stabilize the present, how his affection feels deep but his footing feels unsteady, and you've tried to be understanding, patient, compassionate, because that's who you are. But your compassion has slowly been asking a deeper question. Where do I fit in a life that hasn't found its balance yet? Don't scroll, because your heart needs this honesty right now. Love does not require you to live in limbo. Love does not ask you to keep adjusting your expectations downward so someone else can feel comfortable. Listen to this. Heaven sees how much you've already given, how often you've waited quietly, how many times you've told yourself, just a little longer. And heaven is not asking you to wait in uncertainty anymore, it is asking you to see clearly. His situation includes unresolved pressure, inner instability, and responsibilities that are not yet aligned with the future he imagines with you, and until those things are addressed, love will feel like effort instead of ease. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is not about condemning him, it's about honoring yourself. You are awakening spiritually, and awakening changes your tolerance for imbalance. You are no longer able to romanticize struggle the way you once did. Your nervous system no longer confuses intensity with intimacy, and that's why moments of distance now feel calmer than moments of emotional push and pull. Listen to this. Calm is not the absence of love, it is the presence of safety, and heaven prioritizes your safety over your attachment. Don't scroll, because this message is meant to ground you, not rush you. You may have felt guilt for pulling back emotionally, guilt for questioning something that feels loving, guilt for needing more stability than he can offer right now, but that guilt does not belong to you. Listen to this. You are not wrong for wanting a love that can stand on solid ground. You are not asking for too much, you are asking for what is sustainable, and sustainability is sacred. Don't scroll, because heaven does not ask awakened souls to sacrifice their peace to prove their loyalty. Love that is meant to grow will not punish you for honoring your intuition. Listen to this. Your intuition has been speaking through your body, through exhaustion after emotional conversations, through relief when there is space, through a subtle clarity that grows stronger the more you listen, and that clarity is not pushing you away from love, it is guiding you toward alignment. Don't scroll, stay here, because alignment does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like a quiet knowing that you can't unfeel once it arrives. You are beginning to see that his love for you is real, but his capacity to meet you where you are is limited by his current situation, and that gap matters. Listen to this. Heaven does not close doors abruptly when hearts are involved. It creates space, perspective, and timing so lessons can be learned without destruction. You are in that space now, and it may feel uncomfortable because you are no longer numbing yourself with hope alone. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance. Hope is beautiful, but hope without structure becomes exhaustion, and heaven is tired of watching you exhaust yourself. Listen to this. You are not meant to be the place someone rests while they figure out their life. You are meant to be met by someone who has done the work to stand beside you, not lean on you. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is where the universe draws a line between compassion and self-abandonment. You can care without carrying, you can love without waiting indefinitely. You can understand without sacrificing your future. Listen to this. Something is shifting in you because something must change externally. Either he will rise to meet the reality of his situation with responsibility and action, or the universe will gently move you toward a path where love feels lighter, steadier, and mutual, and neither outcome is loss. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. You are not being punished for loving deeply. You are being protected from loving at your own expense. Listen to this. You may soon experience a moment of truth, a conversation that feels different, a realization that settles rather than spirals, or an internal release where you stop trying to make things make sense, and when that moment arrives, you will feel relief before anything else, because relief is the soul recognizing truth. Don't scroll, because the universe does not reveal truth to hurt you, it reveals it to free you. You are stepping into a season where your worth is not negotiable, where your future is not postponed for someone else's readiness, where love meets you with clarity instead of confusion. Listen to this: whatever unfolds next will not leave you stranded, it will place you exactly where you need to be, whether that means watching him step into accountability or walking forward without him. You will not be alone. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final reassurance right now. Heaven has been guiding you every step of the way, strengthening your intuition, sharpening your discernment, softening your fear, and now it is asking you to trust what you know, not what you hope. Trust that love aligned with your destiny will not require constant waiting, constant patience, constant emotional labor. It will arrive ready, stable, and capable of holding you without hesitation. Breathe, stay present, let the truth settle gently, because clarity is not an ending, it is a doorway, and what waits on the other side is peace. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you. And your heart needs this right now, because what you're standing in is not confusion, it's revelation slowly taking shape, and heaven is asking you to stay present instead of rushing to conclusions. You've been feeling the weight of this connection in ways you can't always explain, moments where love feels undeniable and moments where reality feels heavy. And that tension is not accidental. Listen closely, this man does love you deeply, in a way that is sincere, emotional, and real to him, but love alone does not rewrite circumstances, and heaven is very clear about that. You've felt it when conversations drift toward the future and something inside you tightens. You've felt it when his words are full but his footing feels uncertain, and you've tried to quiet that feeling because you didn't want to seem impatient or ungrateful for love. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. That feeling is not impatience. It is discernment, and discernment is a sign that you are no longer asleep to patterns that once drained you. Listen to this: his situation is not just about external things like money, timing, work, or logistics. It's about emotional bandwidth, stability, and the ability to carry responsibility without collapsing. And right now he is still navigating internal battles that make consistency hard. Don't scroll, stay here. Because this is not about judging him, it's about seeing clearly what love is being asked to endure. You've been patient, understanding, compassionate, you've held space for his struggles, you've tried to believe that love would eventually smooth the rough edges, but heaven is gently stepping in now to say that love is not meant to be proven through endurance alone. Listen to this: endurance without balance becomes sacrifice, and sacrifice without mutual stability becomes self-abandonment. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder: you are not meant to lose yourself in someone else's situation. You are meant to be met, supported, and partnered with, and heaven has been watching you quietly carry more than your share. That's why your intuition has grown louder, why your tolerance for uncertainty has shrunk, why silence sometimes feels safer than emotional intensity. Listen to this: calm is not distance, calm is clarity settling in. Don't scroll, because this message is not here to tell you what decision to make, it's here to tell you that you are allowed to pause, to observe, to let truth reveal itself without forcing outcomes. You've been in seasons before where you rushed past red flags because you believed love required patience at any cost, and heaven is making sure you don't repeat that lesson. Listen to this: compassion does not mean carrying someone else's instability, empathy does not mean delaying your own future indefinitely, and love does not mean waiting in uncertainty while someone figures out who they are. Don't scroll. Stay with me, because the universe is creating a turning point, not dramatic, not explosive, but decisive, a moment where things become clearer, either through a conversation that finally exposes limitations, or through an internal shift where your attachment loosens because your clarity strengthens. Listen to this, that loosening is not heartbreak, it's alignment, and alignment always brings relief before it brings change. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not being asked to abandon love, you are being asked to stop abandoning yourself. Heaven does not ask awakened souls to carry relationships that require constant emotional labor just to stay afloat. Listen to this, you may notice that when you imagine a future where you are stable, supported, and at peace, His presence feels uncertain in that picture, and that doesn't make you disloyal, it makes you honest. Don't scroll, because honesty is sacred, and heaven responds to honesty with guidance, not punishment. Listen to this, the signs around you have been preparing you for this realization, the repeated moments of emotional exhaustion after deep talks, the relief you feel when there's space, the quiet strength growing inside you when you choose yourself. These are confirmations. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. You are not responsible for fixing his situation. You are not meant to pause your destiny while someone else sorts out their life. Love that is aligned will move forward with clarity and courage. Love that is not ready will feel heavy no matter how sincere it is. Listen to this, heaven is not removing love from your life, it is removing confusion, and confusion is exhausting your spirit. Don't scroll, stay here, because what unfolds next will not be chaotic. It will be clarifying. You may find yourself asking fewer questions, explaining yourself less, and feeling more grounded in your choices. That's alignment taking root. Listen to this, if he is meant to rise, his situation will force growth, accountability, and action, and if he does not, heaven will not let you remain stuck waiting for potential that costs you peace. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final truth right now. You are allowed to choose a love that meets you where you are without hesitation. You are allowed to step away from dynamics that require constant patience without progress. You are allowed to trust what your intuition has been quietly telling you. Listen to this, nothing meant for you will require you to stay small, silent, or stuck. What is aligned with your destiny will move with steadiness, clarity, and mutual effort. Don't scroll, because this message is anchoring you into truth. Whatever happens next will not break you, it will ground you, it will free you from uncertainty, and it will place you closer to the kind of love that does not ask you to wait in limbo. Breathe, stay present, trust what you feel, trust the process unfolding. Because heaven is not confused about your path, it is guiding you with precision, and the peace you are stepping toward will be worth every moment you chose clarity over comfort. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you are experiencing is not emotional confusion, it is spiritual clarity slowly rising. And heaven is asking you to stay present long enough to recognize it. You've been holding two truths at once for a long time now, that this man loves you deeply and that his life feels unstable, unfinished, or misaligned. And carrying those two truths together has been exhausting your spirit. Listen closely, because this is the layer where understanding replaces self-doubt. His love is real in the way he knows how to love right now. It's sincere, emotional, and deeply felt, but love does not automatically grant capacity, and heaven is very clear about that distinction. Don't scroll, stay here, because you are not wrong for feeling both connected and uneasy. Your intuition has been alert because it recognizes when love is asking you to wait in uncertainty instead of walk forward in peace. Listen to this, his situation is not just about what's happening around him, it's about what's unresolved within him, patterns he hasn't broken, responsibilities he hasn't fully stabilized, fears he hasn't yet faced, and while he may want you by his side, wanting companionship and being ready for partnership are two very different things. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. You are not meant to be the place someone hides from their own growth. You are not meant to be the anchor while someone else remains adrift, and heaven has been gently pulling your awareness toward that realization. Listen to this. You've noticed how emotional conversations leave you drained instead of fulfilled, how reassurance has to be repeated instead of naturally felt, how progress feels stalled even when affection is strong, and you've questioned yourself for noticing these things. But noticing is not negativity. Noticing is wisdom forming. Don't scroll, because the universe is not asking you to harden your heart, it's asking you to strengthen your discernment. You are awakening spiritually, and awakening always brings discomfort before peace because it removes illusion. Listen to this. There were seasons in your life where you would have endured this dynamic longer, where you would have told yourself love requires patience no matter the cost, where you would have waited quietly hoping things would eventually settle. But you are no longer that version of yourself, and heaven will not allow you to shrink back into old patterns just because love feels familiar. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this message is meant to steady you, not push you into a decision. You are not being told to leave or to stay, you are being told to see clearly, to stop silencing the part of you that feels the imbalance. Listen to this. His situation has created a gap between intention and action. And gaps are where confusion lives. Love aligned with destiny does not live in confusion, it lives in clarity, consistency, and shared effort. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reminder. Compassion does not mean self-neglect, empathy does not mean delaying your future indefinitely, and loving someone does not obligate you to carry their instability as your burden. Listen to this. Heaven sees how much emotional labor you've already done, how often you've tried to be understanding instead of honest, patient instead of protective, and heaven is stepping in now. Because that pattern cannot follow you into your next chapter. Don't scroll, stay here, because something important is happening beneath the surface. Your attachment is loosening not because love is fading, but because clarity is strengthening. And clarity always feels like relief mixed with sadness at first. Listen to this. You may soon notice that your need to explain yourself is decreasing, that your urge to wait is softening, that imagining a future built on stability feels more comforting than imagining one built on hope alone. These are signs of alignment, not loss. Don't scroll, because the universe is not taking anything from you. It is returning you to yourself. You have spent too long prioritizing other people's readiness over your own peace, and heaven is correcting that gently but firmly. Listen to this. If this man is meant to rise into alignment, his situation will demand accountability, action, and growth, and love will no longer be used as a refuge from responsibility. And if he does not rise, heaven will not allow you to remain suspended in waiting. You will be guided forward with grace. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Whatever unfolds next will not break you, it will ground you. Truth always grounds the soul, even when it hurts briefly. Listen to this. You are not being punished for loving deeply. You are being protected from loving at your own expense, and that protection may feel like distance, boundaries, or emotional clarity, but it is mercy in disguise. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this is the turning point where many people ignore their intuition and repeat cycles. But you are not here to repeat, you are here to complete, to close a chapter that taught you discernment, to step into a season where love does not feel like work. Listen to this. The future being prepared for you does not require constant waiting, constant reassurance, or constant sacrifice. It requires presence, stability, and mutual effort, and heaven is making sure that whoever walks beside you can stand on their own feet. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this final truth right now. You are allowed to choose peace without guilt. You are allowed to honor love without attaching your destiny to someone else's unresolved situation. You are allowed to trust the quiet voice inside you that says, "This is not sustainable as it is." Listen to this. Heaven does not abandon awakened hearts, it guides them gently toward clarity, alignment, and peace, and you are being guided now, step by step, breath by breath, toward a future where love meets you ready, not struggling, grounded, not chaotic, and when that alignment arrives, you will not have to convince yourself. Your body, your heart, and your spirit will all agree at once, and that agreement will feel like rest. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because what you are sensing is not weakness, it's awareness finally breaking through layers of hope, loyalty, and emotional endurance, and heaven wants you to stay right here long enough to understand why this love feels so intense and yet so unresolved at the same time. There is a reason you've been feeling more still lately, less reactive, more observant. A reason your spirit feels tired of explaining, waiting, and holding space without equal return, and that reason is that you are outgrowing a dynamic that once felt familiar but no longer feels safe. Listen closely. This man does love you deeply, sincerely, in the way he is capable of loving right now, and you've never questioned his feelings. What you've questioned is the future, the stability, the consistency, the ability to build something solid without you having to sacrifice yourself in the process. Don't scroll, because this is where many people get stuck, mistaking love for alignment, mistaking emotional attachment for readiness, mistaking patience for purpose, and heaven is gently interrupting that pattern for you. Listen to this. His situation is not temporary in the way he hopes it is. It's formative. It's shaping how he shows up, how he responds to pressure, how he handles responsibility. And until that situation changes at the root, love will continue to feel heavy instead of expansive. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this honesty right now. You are not wrong for noticing that conversations go deep but actions lag behind, that reassurance comes in waves but stability does not, that your nervous system feels calmer when there is space than when there is emotional intensity. Those are not signs of emotional detachment, those are signs of self-protection activating. Listen to this. You have already loved through struggle before. You have already waited through uncertainty. You have already believed in potential at the cost of your own peace, and heaven is not allowing you to repeat that lesson again, not because you failed, but because you learned. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this message is not telling you to stop loving him, it's telling you to stop carrying what is not yours. Compassion does not require self-neglect, empathy does not require self-erasure, and love does not require you to put your life on hold indefinitely. Listen to this. His situation has created a gap between his heart and his capacity, and gaps are where confusion lives, where mixed signals form, where hope and disappointment coexist, and heaven does not want your future built in a gap. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. You are not meant to be the emotional anchor while someone else navigates chaos. You are meant to be met by someone who has the stability to stand beside you, not lean on you. Listen to this. You may feel guilt for pulling back, guilt for needing more, guilt for questioning something that feels loving, but that guilt does not belong to you. It belongs to old conditioning that taught you love must be proven through endurance, and heaven is breaking that belief now. Don't scroll, because this is spiritual growth in motion. You are awakening to the truth that love should feel safe, mutual, and grounded, not like constant effort, constant understanding, constant patience without progress. Listen to this, the universe has been sending you signals through your body and your emotions, exhaustion after emotional conversations, relief when there is distance, clarity when you imagine choosing yourself. These are not coincidences, they are guidance. Don't scroll, because guidance often feels uncomfortable when it challenges attachment, but it always leads to peace. Listen to this, something is shifting inside you because something must shift outside of you. Either he will face his situation with accountability and action, or the universe will slowly loosen your attachment so you can move forward without resentment or regret, and neither outcome is failure. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. You are not being punished for loving deeply, you are being protected from loving at your own expense. Heaven is not cruel, it is precise. It does not rip things away abruptly, it reveals truth gradually so the heart can adjust. Listen to this, you may soon notice that you stop chasing clarity, that you stop trying to make things make sense, that you feel a quiet resolve settling in, that is alignment forming, not indifference. Don't scroll, because alignment often feels like calm replacing anxiety, certainty replacing rumination, peace replacing hope-fueled stress. Listen to this, you are allowed to love him and still choose a future that feels stable. You are allowed to care without committing to uncertainty. You are allowed to honor the connection without attaching your destiny to his unresolved situation. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this clearly. Nothing meant for you will require you to carry confusion as the price of love. Nothing aligned with your destiny will ask you to wait endlessly for readiness. Listen to this, the love that is meant for you will meet you when it can stand on its own, when it can offer consistency without struggle, when it can walk beside you without hesitation. And if this man is meant to become that person, his situation will force him to rise, and if not, heaven will guide you away gently, without breaking your heart. Don't scroll, because this unfolding is not finished yet, but you are closer to clarity than you think. Every time you honor your intuition, every time you choose peace over pressure, every time you pause instead of forcing a future, you are aligning with divine timing. Listen to this, your worth is not measured by how much you can endure. Your value is not proven by how long you can wait. Your destiny is not tied to someone else's readiness. Don't scroll, because this message is anchoring you into truth. Whatever happens next will not leave you lost, it will lead you forward, grounded, aware, and protected. And when the right alignment arrives, you will not feel confused, you will not feel anxious, you will feel settled, because love that is truly meant for you feels like home, not like a test. Don't scroll, listen to this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because you have reached the quiet edge of a realization that can no longer be ignored, and heaven wants you calm, grounded, and present as it unfolds. You've been carrying this connection with care, with patience, with compassion, and with a level of emotional intelligence that most people never reach. And yet something inside you has been whispering that love alone cannot keep holding everything together. Listen closely, because this is not about fear, it's about truth finally rising to the surface. This man loves you deeply, sincerely, in a way that feels unmistakable, and you've never doubted his feelings. What you've doubted is the stability around those feelings, the structure beneath them, the life that would have to support a future with you. And that doubt is not betrayal, it is wisdom activating. Don't scroll, because this is where many people abandon themselves trying to preserve love, but you are being asked to do something different. You are being asked to see clearly without hardening your heart, to acknowledge love without attaching your destiny to struggle. Listen to this, his situation is not just a phase, it is a mirror of his current capacity, and capacity matters more than intention when it comes to building a future. You've noticed how he wants closeness but struggles with consistency. How he speaks about commitment but hesitates when life demands responsibility. How emotional depth exists but practical stability does not always follow, and you've tried to bridge that gap with understanding, with patience, with hope. Don't scroll, because your heart needs to hear this gently but clearly. That gap is not yours to close. Love is not meant to feel like a constant effort to stabilize someone else's world. Listen to this. Heaven has been watching how often you've chosen empathy over self-protection, how often you've minimized your own needs to avoid adding pressure to his situation, how often you've told yourself, it's just a season, and heaven is stepping in now because seasons are meant to change, not become permanent homes. Don't scroll, stay with me, because this message is not here to tell you that love was a mistake. It's here to tell you that love must be supported by readiness, accountability, and the ability to show up fully, otherwise it becomes heavy. And heaviness is not what you were created for. Listen to this, you are in a season of spiritual awakening where your nervous system no longer confuses intensity with intimacy, where your body recognizes peace faster than your mind can rationalize discomfort, and that awakening is why you feel calmer when there is space and more tense when there is emotional push and pull. Don't scroll, because calm is not disinterest. Calm is alignment settling in. You may feel guilt for pulling back. Guilt for questioning something that feels loving. Guilt for needing more stability than he can offer right now. But that guilt is old programming, not truth. Listen to this. Love that is meant to grow does not punish you for honoring your intuition. It does not require you to carry uncertainty as proof of devotion, and heaven will never ask you to sacrifice your future to preserve someone else's comfort. Don't scroll, because this is the part where clarity becomes unavoidable. You are beginning to see that while his heart may be attached, his life is not yet aligned to meet you where you are going, and that matters, not because he is unworthy, but because you are. Listen to this. You are not meant to be the one who waits while someone else finds their footing. You are not meant to pause your growth so someone else can catch up. Partnership is meant to feel mutual, supportive, and steady, not like a constant balancing act. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this reassurance right now. Choosing yourself does not mean rejecting love, it means refusing to abandon yourself. You can care deeply and still require stability. You can love sincerely and still choose peace. You can honor the connection without letting it define your future. Listen to this. Heaven is not cruel. It does not rip attachments away abruptly. It loosens them gently as clarity grows, and you may already feel that loosening happening, a softening of attachment, a decrease in urgency, a growing sense of inner strength. That is not loss, that is alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment often feels like relief mixed with sadness, a quiet knowing that something must change, and change does not always mean an ending. Sometimes it means a boundary, sometimes it means time, sometimes it means a different path entirely. Listen to this. If this man is meant to rise into alignment, his situation will demand responsibility, action, and growth from him, not from you. And if he cannot rise, heaven will not allow you to remain stuck waiting for potential that costs you peace. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth right now. Your worth is not measured by how long you can endure uncertainty. Your value is not proven by how much emotional labor you can perform. And your destiny is not tied to someone else's readiness. Listen to this. You are stepping into a season where love meets you grounded, where effort is shared, where peace is not something you have to negotiate for. And whether that future includes him or not will become clear without you forcing it. Don't scroll, because clarity is forming even now. in the way your body responds, in the way your